Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, the 12th of February 2023. My name is Comrade John Akuro, and I'm delighted to invite you all to join me to this live show. Today, we are going to be examining some very interesting and I should say momentous issues, and I will be obtaining permission on this program today to kind of address some internal issues. I say so because I like to maintain my focus on La République du Cameroon. But there are certain things that really do happen internally that require perhaps that we address just to put the record straight and to make sure that we continue to mobilize our people so that we move in the same direction. So we're getting ready to doing that, and we're waiting for, that we get about 34, 40 people to start with. Let's spend some little time with Fredo Lenke.
Bonsoir. Je viens d'échapper encore à un autre enlèvement. Regardez, j'ai déjà fait presque 5 km dans la forêt parce qu'ils ont failli m'attraper à Obala. J'étais de passage pour faire envoyer des messages. Et me voici donc qui vient d'arriver dans mon lieu de clandestinité. Et j'ai vu entrer les éléments du billet. Je crois que j'ai identifié la tenue. Mais il fallait que je fuis. Me voici donc qui vient d'arriver pour montrer les chaussures. Ouais. J'ai marché presque 5 heures de temps. Donc je vais l'arriver comme ça. Depuis presque 20 heures. Il est quelle heure? Nous sommes aujourd'hui. Nous sommes déjà presque au 2. Il est minuit, voire 1 minute. Donc vraiment, je voulais envoyer un message clair au gouvernement. Je n'ai rien à vous, je n'ai rien à me reprocher. Et je dis, et j'interpelle une personne. Le conseiller du président de la République m'appelle Franck, qui prend des dispositions. Je ne veux pas me retrouver dans des situations de martyr. Je n'ai pas besoin de ça. Donc,
de leur père, chers enfants, laissez, je vous en prie, laissez d'introduire le voleur dans les possessions des parents. Parce que sinon, demain, vous irez
I'm afraid a while ago I definitely was talking to myself. I don't know what happened. There was some little glitch with microphone shots and not opening, and so I apologize. And so, my people, without further waste of time, let's get into this show. And I'm delighted that you all set aside some time to be part of this program, to be part of this live broadcast. Through that, I did not announce. I guess I'll begin trying to, come up with some flyers to indicate when these live shows come up so that we can, look towards them. And I guess I'll try to work on my schedule also to make sure that we'll have some specific, days and times and appointments that we know we will meet here to discuss very salient and important issues regarding the quest of the people of the once independent state of Southern Cameroons for total liberation. On that note, let's go. said, whoever told them that Amazonians are about to surrender. I always come up with this because, it always makes me feel like let's talk about it, let's fret about it because it resets our minds. It as far as I am concerned, one thing it does to me, it sets me up to know that the only day that we stop, the only day that we shall ever stop in this liberation movement will be when we scream on the streets of Boya in Bongo Square, free, free, free at last. We are free. My people of Amazonia, I want to congratulate each and every one of us for the bravery we showed once more yesterday, Saturday, February 11. Across our territory, La République du Cameroon's colonial agents were sneaking here and there to try and organize march pasts just to show that they are still in control of our territory. And they were trying to force our people to celebrate a day that in our history represents the start of our march into slavery and servitude. I want to congratulate our people on ground zero who chose to stay home, who decided to stay in their homes and stay away from such stupid demonstrations. These people, the colonial administration, were forced to carry out some kind of unorthodox practice. That is, go and get children 3-4 days before, some even 1 week in advance, and say they were going to do preparations for the march past, and then record it and send to the national broadcaster. So that on the 11th, that was yesterday, while they were sleeping in their homes, they will say they were out there celebrating 11th of February. Those are all signs of defeat. Those are all signs of desperation. And they are the most visible signs of failure. My people of Amazonia, again, we all did it. There are some pockets of resistance that we face. There are some little pockets where some people are still really so misguided to think that perhaps because of the rampant poverty, they go out there because in the end they will earn some sardine and bread. That is a story for another day. We generally will overcome. I want to express heartfelt sympathy to the families of the people that lost their lives in Tico. And I want to use this occasion to condemn with the last energy that cowardly act that was carried out in Tico. Those who are on the ground in Tico and who have informed me make clear that these acts do not really carry the stamp of our brave hearts. I want to say this has been a pattern. La République du Cameroon has constantly struggled to do things like this because they want to paint us to the rest of the world. That is why on such occasions I always come here to tell our people, don't allow yourself to be manipulated right into your graves. When they say stay home, because you are likely to be caught either in the crossfire or in the manipulative machinery of La République du Cameroon. Because one thing is certain, La République du Cameroon knows that because the liberation movements have said 11th of February is ghost town, is lockdown, everybody should stay home, they know that it will mean that if you don't stay home, you are threatened, you might be attacked. And therefore, they always take the next step ahead. They set their proxies that are in our midst to go out there, commit on this act so that they say, did you not hear Ambazonians say, if anybody shows their head out, you will see? And so when you go out there, you offer yourself cheap for the manipulative tendencies of La République du Cameroon. You know, each time La République du Cameroon faces international pressure, they will hatch something like that. They started by playing games with some 82 students that were pulled out of the schools in the Quen area and taken into the bushes for hours. 82 students. They were not carried in a truck or a car. They marched, passed around areas where they were secure, where they were so-called La République du Cameroon colonial forces. When they were faced again with international pressure regarding the Swiss-led initiative, they decided to carry out the heinous act in Kumba, in the schools in Kumba. Scores of children lost their lives. When they see that the international community is still not swallowing the shit that they want to spray around, that we are terrorists, they go out again and do the same thing. That's what happened in Ekondo Titi, where school children and a teacher lost their lives. My people of Amazonia, this trend should make us understand that when they say stay home, please stay home for the sake of your life. You are not staying home because you are running away from your own brothers that are out there struggling to free the land. You are staying home because you are running away from the invaders who will take advantage of that call to cause you harm in the pious hope, in the mistaken hope that the world will say because your brothers threatened, they are the ones that have acted. They have not succeeded throughout. I want us to go down memories lane and see who are those that have outrightly taken down mothers, taken down the most vulnerable, taken down babies. I mean, burned down even senior citizens. I want to cite them so we know. What happened to Bebe Carol Louis in Boya? It was by La République du Cameroon talks. They could not mask that one. It was too visible. What happened to Bebe Tato Brandy in Bamenda? It was the La République talks. There is no way they could mask that one. What happened to Mama P, who was burned alive in her home? The La République du Cameroon talks. They couldn't say they did not do that one. What happened in Gabon? Including pregnant women and the likes, they were La République du Cameroon talks. Now, a lot of talks, a lot of noise was made about the wardress Florence, who was so brutally taken out in Pinyin, and they said it was Amazonia. But at the end of the day, only one of their agents, one of their double agents was in our midst. Success Nkomo. I often like calling Freedom Nkomo, but let me call him the way he calls himself. Success Nkomo made clear that Florence was taken out by proxy forces to the Cameroon military. Success Nkomo made clear that those children in the school in Ekondo Titi was the handiwork of La République du Cameroon. So my people, when you know this thing, you know this pattern, you definitely know that during periods like this one, where we say boycott for the sake of national pride, don't go and present yourself out there as meat. This is what destroys us. Because my people, I'd like you to take a look at one video here. I will do compare and contrast. Unfortunately, that video is upside down. I don't have time enough for my technicians to treat it. But just watch it quickly, and I'll tell you what I want to say. You definitely recognized who was on that car. That is Charles Mbelamoki. He used to be mayor of Boya. Today, says he's a senator. That is Charles Mbelamoki celebrating in the streets of Boya. Celebrating what he calls his victory even before the outright victory he's expecting to have on the 12th of March in an election that will not even take place, or in an election that's already been arranged because our people of Amazonia have generally said no to such cabal on our territory. But why am I bringing this? Because these are people who sit and call themselves our elite. when Bebe Tato Brandy was brutally cut off on that same street that Belamoki is parading on, we did not hear a single word from Charles Belamoki. We did not hear a single word from all of those who go around calling themselves our elites. We did not get a single word from those who will sit there and say, well, Southwest Chiefs Conference, well, this and that, that churn out motions of support every day. We didn't see it. When it happened to Bebe Tato Brandy in Bamenda, when the population came out en masse into the streets, we saw none of these people. Not one of them. Even our phones stayed behind wherever they are, eating bread and sardine from Yaounde. But what happened? What happened to Martinez Zogo is cleaning the Republic, like people do Cameroon. It is clearing the whole place. It is turning Yaounde, that every other place, upside down. The reason is simple. Because the people know how to stand up for theirs. Let's listen to this gentleman say something about the act that the chiefs of the Leke took, even though they were literally forced after to walk it back. Just listen.
Oui, il y a eu également cette réaction assez remarquée des chefs de la Lequier. Ils ont fait une première sortie très forte pour condamner l'assassinat de Martinez Zogo et effectivement, ils ont dit que le président devait faire un effort pour qu'on sache la vérité. Sinon, le corps de Martinez Zogo serait enterré chez lui à Mbomeka dans le caveau familial. Et 2 jours plus tard, patatras, les mêmes chefs ont fait une autre sortie, cette fois pour présenter des excuses au chef de l'État, estimant que leurs propos avaient dépassé leurs pensées. Alors, comment avez-vous jugé ces différentes sorties des chefs de la Lequier?
À ces chefs de la Lequier, je fais allégeance et je me mets à genoux. Enfin, on a trouvé au Cameroun des chefs qui savent à quoi ils servent. Ils sont les guides et les protecteurs de leur population. Si les autres chefs avaient osé faire ça, si les chefs du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest se s'étaient levés une seule fois pour dire au pouvoir, faisons la paix, que font nos enfants en prison, que font ceci, on n'en serait pas là.
Et qu'est-ce que vous faites de leur retour?
I suppose that you hear what this gentleman is saying. He is very clear, very unequivocal. He says that action by the chiefs of the Leke, even if they were forced to go walk their words back later, the impact that it created is unimaginable. The impact that it created is far-reaching. The impact that is created is a generator of all the actions that we are seeing going on now in the Republic du Cameroon that may lead to a show, to some semblance of justice being served for the brutal murder of Martinez Zogo. But he doesn't end there. This is a Babylon man. He says, if only the funds, he says in the northwest and southwest, if only the funds have stood up only once, and said enough of this. Why are our children in prison? Why are our children being killed? You must make peace. Paul Biya will not continue doing what he is doing today. La République du Cameroon will be forced ever since to go to the negotiation table to discuss the root causes of this conflict. But my people of Ambazonia, all those adults, I call them adults, who are supposed to rise to the occasion and stand for their people, have decided to stand with the oppressor. I bring this compare and contrast that you see, this one is talking about the chiefs of the Leke, who could also stand just to give motions of support. But they went out there to stand for theirs and swore and said the body will be interred in Vomeka, in Paul Biya's family tomb. Even right up to this day, despite our outcry, not even a single phone, not a single chief has sent out even just, a tweet to condemn the brutal murder of Wazizi, whose remains have never been seen. His remains have never been seen until this day. What a shame. Let's listen again, just a little.
Pèlerinage.
J'y arrive.
Oui.
J'y arrive, monsieur. Quand on m'a arrêté ici, dans cette maison, avec une personne qui représente aujourd'hui l'espoir de tous les opprimés, Camto, on nous a gardé presque un an. Vous avez entendu qu'un chef de l'Ouest est venu nous voir? Ils ont bu leur champagne en disant, ils cherchaient quoi? Hein? Nous, on est là, on est tranquille, le gouvernement est bon. Pour une fois que des gens viennent en plein jour, là où le crime s'est passé, et dire, nous condamnons. Et ce que vous avez fait, vous paierez. Et nous pensons même que ce corps ira chez vous. Le corps de Martinez Zogo n'existe même pas, il est tellement mutilé,
Oui.
que c'est son esprit qui va aller habiter là-bas.
Alors, ils ont justement dit qu'ils n'acceptent pas les asticots.
Oui,
parce que
mais
le corps,
laissez-moi le matériel là,
oui.
parce que le corps là est devenu un objet.
Oui.
Mais c'est l'esprit de Martinez Zogo qui va aller habiter chez eux, qui va les hanter.
So I don't even want us to go deeper into this because, in effect, my people, the message that is coming out of here should inform us, should make us, those of us who come from families involving some of those people who call themselves our elites, involving some of those fronts and chiefs who say they are our fathers. This is the moment. Call them and ask them, are you truly, are you still representing us? Are you really for us, or you are for the enemy? These are things we need to do. But again, it is an opportunity for me to remind all of us who have made it a point to fight for the freedom of our homeland to continually recall that we are on our own. And if we continually recall that we are on our own, we will do the things that people who know are on their own do. When you know you are on your own, you know you leave nothing to chance. You know that you will not give any room for anything to distract you. But I fear that even while we cry loud, clear, and strong that we are on our own, we have to improve on our strategy, we have to work together, we have to bond together, we have to make sure that we pool our resources together so that we are better able to face La République du Cameroon. There are quite some in our midst who have decided to put themselves at the service of those internal forces that want to hold us down, that want to continue pressing us down and make sure we will stay in the trenches much longer. Some of them have overtly even told themselves this kind of statement that Bruno made regarding Amogo Bellinga. Listen.
Si mon boss me demande maintenant de courir et d'entrer dans un trou, je vous assure que je le ferai sans hésiter.
Bruno Bidon, mon heure a sonné.
So, this is Bruno Bijan saying if my boss tells me to run straight and get into a hole, I will do that, without the least hesitation. I will do that without hesitation, not even for a second. We have people in this liberation movement who have made up their minds that for nothing, they don't even need anything from anyone. Those people who are their handlers, that they will continue to do whatever they tell them to do, even if they know that this is against good conscience. I'm saying this because I'm about to play some excerpts of a video released by one Ambe Augustine of there's a channel called Esteem Television. I need to say this before I move on. I had the occasion to be called once by some members of the Southern Cameroon's Town Hall, or Southern Cameroon's National Town Hall, and I was brought into a committee where they wanted us to meet, sit together, and discuss how to, pool our communication forces together to better address the liberation movement, better mobilize our people, and then to see exactly how we help counter manipulation and misinformation from La République du Cameroon. So when I got to that meeting, I met this gentleman, Ambe Augustin, and I was like, oh, like seriously, you're ready to work? You want us to work together in this light for better communications for Ambazonia? And then I was like, are you not the same person that's wasted about 9 or 11 editions of broadcast on your television channel, on your YouTube channel, to tell the world how Mba Akun was an agent of La République? To tell the world that Mba Akun was even still earning salary from La République du Cameroon. Salary that was cut the very next day that they started chasing me through the forest like an animal. I asked, did you ever get facts? Did you ever do any findings? And shamelessly he said that he was misled by Comrades Milan Atam and other Amazonians in South Africa. And he apologized. And I looked at it and said, when an adult tells you he was misled by another adult, you begin to wonder whether this same person has a mind of their own. And so I said I was going to watch and see exactly how you now move away from spewing this internal disorder, nonsense, to focusing on La République du Cameroon. But hell no, those bad habits, they don't die very quickly. Let's get listen some excerpts of this video, and I will say exactly why I'm bringing it here, because we must be able to clarify things for our people to know where the truth stands.
And I will tell you why they're trying to tell that story, but let me read you what somebody forwarded to me. So this is a write-up by the Permanent Mission of the Republic of Cameroon to the United Nations. It says the Permanent Mission of the Republic of Cameroon to the United Nations presents its compliment to the Permanent and Observer Mission to the organization.
I will interrupt him from time to time to go through this. Let me not let him take all of our time reading that mail like he does on his channel. I want to read myself, then we'll move straight into what he says about it. Because this correspondence, it did circulate well on social media. And I'm even embarrassed. There is some many things that it was leaked out by the government of La République du Cameroon. We have had 1,001 official correspondences by the government of Cameroon that were confidential documents. Were they leaked by the government of La République du Cameroon because they want to stand for someone or because they want to front someone? This kind of thoughts are thoughts that only come to set confusion in our midst. Because for some time now, like I said in my previous broadcast, we were beginning to streamline some of those moments where we spend time fighting ourselves so that we were able to focus on La République du Cameroon. There is so much going on there, right now that Mr. Ambe Augustin could focus on to make sure we continue to dig them deeper in the direction that they have decided to go. This is the time more than ever before that anyone, be you a social media activist, be you whatsoever, involved in this liberation movement, will understand that we cannot afford to continue doing business as usual. That we cannot afford, that we can't afford to waste this moment on the altar of internal fighting. If it is not me and it is the other one, it is bad. So this letter read this way. And I want to go into the nitty-gritty just so that we are able to seize this moment. He says, it reads, the Permanent Mission of the Republic of Cameroon to the United Nations presents its compliments to the Permanent and Observer Missions to the organization, and following the assassination on the night of 18 to 19 January 2023 of heads of branch of elections Cameroon in Momo and Jekiri in the northwest region of Cameroon, subsequent to the watchword of terrorist leader Ayabacho Lucas, asking to target the organizers and candidates for the next senatorial election scheduled for March 12, 2023. So he says, has the honor to bring to their attention, on behalf of the government of the Republic of Cameroon, its concern, its strong indignation and protest against the freedom accorded to this terrorist leader, referring to Lucas Ayabacho, in Norway, his country of residence, as well as other terrorists residing in friendly countries. He didn't just end on Ayaba. He said, as well as other terrorists residing in friendly countries, to continue committing crimes and atrocities in Cameroon with complete impunity. These actors, entrepreneurs of war and destabilization, and their supporters lurking in the shadows, who pull the strings for their own interests and for unacknowledged ends, are still working to hinder the dynamics of peace resulting from the major national dialogue, whose recommendations implementation are actively pursued in the field, thanks to the actions of the government and other national actors, as well as the support of international partners. And it continues, to consolidate these multiple developments towards a lasting solution to the socio-political situation in the northwest and southwest regions, in accordance with the permanent will of the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya, and that almost unanimously of Cameroonians and Republican institutions, the government of the Republic of Cameroon relies on the firm support of its bilateral and multilateral partners not to give in to this path of violence, blackmail, and escalation. It reads, it thanks them for their constant support and knows it can count on their continued support in building a peaceful, united, and prosperous Cameroon, which is resolutely turned towards its emergence in the wake of the Africa we want advocated by the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, by our National Development Strategy, SND 30, and by the African Union Vision for 2063. And he concludes, in this regard, the permanent mission would like to note and appreciate the recent legal proceedings initiated by a friendly country, the United States of America, against its citizens involved in the financing of terrorism in the aforementioned regions, and expects major actions from its other partners to follow this path. He says, Cameroon therefore demands that all those involved in actions of destabilization and violence in its northwest and southwest regions be identified and punished, and that all their sources of funding be dried up. Now, when you listen to this letter, I took the pains to read this through so that we are hearing that in this letter does not just target Comrade Cho Ayaba. It targets everyone that has been on La République du Cameroon's watch list. It does. Now, to hear the analysis from Ambe, you'll be thinking whether it's a letter different from this one that I have in my hands. Just follow a little.
And following the assassination on the night of 18, identified and punish the permanent mission of Cameroon at the UN, written to other permanent members of the UN, they're not serious, because there's no action that takes place in that permanent. But they want this document out. They want it out so they can use it.
Now I'll stop there. Hear him. And this is very amazing. He says there's no action that takes place in the permanent missions. I want to permit his lack of understanding of international relations, because I know not everyone has a mastery of what is happening in all the walks of life. But my people, if there is no action that takes place at the United Nations, then no country should be appointing permanent representatives to the United Nations. And to note that permanent representatives to the United Nations are often very, very important persons. Or should I say, that position is always very coveted in every country because that is the height of what you call multilateral diplomacy. Multilateral. It is in that melting pot that you find all the movers and shakers of the world. There is no place better to broadcast this than to take it there. Because at the end of the day, we're all saying United Nations should act. United Nations should do this. United Nations should do that. The UN Security Council should take a resolution. Who will be saying the UN Security Council should take a resolution? These same permanent representatives are the ones sitting on all those committees. Be it the Committee for Decolonization, be it the Committee for whatever, be it the UN Security Council. These are the same people that sit. And therefore, knowing that La République du Cameroon is currently under intense pressure to go to the negotiation table, following the press release, the media release by the Canadian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Melanie Joly, La République du Cameroon will do this to try and fend off the international pressure that is piling on them by claiming you want us to go sit down and negotiate with terrorists. They don't negotiate with terrorists. This is the import of this letter. And trust me, this letter could not be sent out to us by La République du Cameroon. They will not deliberately want this letter to be out there on the streets. But my brother Ambe says, La République du Cameroon, by taking that route, we're taking a route of inaction. Let's listen to him again.
And then they publish it so that we can see it. And like, oh, Choyaba is in trouble. No, Choyaba is in no trouble. It's in no trouble. He's their collaborator. And let me say something about, and you don't really have to
Now, this letter is sent out so that Ambazonians should think that Choyaba is in trouble. Because Choyaba is their collaborator, and so they send this letter out and leaked it. They want us to see it. So that we would think that Choyaba is in trouble, whereas he's in no trouble because he's their collaborator. Look at the thought pattern. This letter, as I read it just a while ago, when you listen to it clearly, it does not address just Choyaba. It addresses all of us. But Choyaba is scapegoated here because they consider that Capo Daniel, who is a spokesperson of Engulf, had come out and said they were happy because their forces carried out the action against the Enekam officials. That is why the mention of Choyaba in this mail comes to pass. That's what justifies that mention here. And my people, to imagine that this is an Ambazonian who will tell us that this letter, that the whole country will move a letter, broadcast it to all these diplomatic missions, hail the United States of America for trying other Ambazonians. Those three Ambazonian strike, Mr. Ambe, I think according to you, those three Ambazonians in the US are agents of that republic. They are also not in trouble. It's just a decoy. This is something that shocks me, embarrasses me. When you come up with such kinds of analysis, tell me how I wouldn't quickly conclude that you are an internal handler of La République du Cameroon in this liberation movement. Because what is the import of such an analysis? Of such a deliberate misinterpretation? Of such sophistry? And I'm even shocked that some people also take delight in sharing this. Because, my dear people of Amazon, I've said here a lot. Every single action that we take will contribute in one way or the other in doing one of two things. Either advancing this liberation movement or making sure we continue to stay in the trenches. Let's listen to him again.
To see that he is their collaborator in his prominence in Canada. Let me just talk about Canada before I even go to some other areas to point out how he works for La République. firstly, CDN is the Cameroon agent that has rallied all these people. Talk to Choyaba in Europe. The pictures of Atem working with him.
Now, you look at, in French, they say that even the coq à l'âne. You are not just on Ayaba. You are jumping onto CDN. CDN is an organization of La République du Cameroun and all of those things. Listen, La République du Cameroun will not drink fresh water until they do everything to bring down the CDN. That's why you see the campaign against CDN is solid and sustained. Why? Because it is doing a wonderful job for this liberation movement. Listen, people. You want them to have named it the Amazonia whatsoever. I think there is something that's wrong with us. I said here the last time that La République du Cameroun has succeeded in holding us down for 60 years because they infiltrated us from day one. They have their agents among us who are always there to make sure that we don't take the necessary steps that we're supposed to take. We have to continue fighting only among ourselves and claiming that we want freedom so that La République du Cameroun will continue to hold us down. When you come up with this kind of thing, what evidence do you have, Mr. Ambe, that the CDN is working for La République du Cameroun? That's not the last time here. I came to talk about someone who said in Canada there was only one flag, and that one flag was the flag of La République du Cameroun. That person was not there. You just listen to again some horrible statements, sweeping conclusions are absolutely unjustified. I really apologize that I'm doing this. I shouldn't really spend my time on this platform doing this because there's enough matter with La République du Cameroun to address for our people to continue to stay awake. But sometimes when we ignore, hidden agendas like this one within our midst, they become like the maggots, or they become very much like the termites that will eat the chair on which you are sitting from belief. And you are there sitting comfortably thinking you are seated on a chair, on a good solid chair, whereas termites have been eating it gradually from under, and before you know it, you just sink. That's why I feel like it makes sense to address this. Let's listen further.
But when they went to Canada, I've already said he was very powerful in Canada. And by the time they went to Canada, they had already agreed on what will be decided in Canada. Okay? When they, here's what my understanding is of what they agreed. You've heard of confidence build.
You hear this. Augusto Dambe says, by the time our people went to Canada, the people had already agreed on what the outcome would be before they went to Canada. Take note that no negotiations are going on. Negotiations are not even started. There was no process in place. These are pre-talks, exploratory talks. These were pre-talks, exploratory talks, to explore and find out whether the two parties have considered that it is time to sit down and talk peace. And if they agree it's time to sit down and talk peace, what format will this take? If they also agree to this, can they agree to an international partner to sit in mediation? This was the import. And as Ambe says, there were 3 successive meetings, at least I'm saying what was reported in the media, in Canada. So the people had already agreed before going to Canada. What was the use of having those 3 successive meetings on different days with people staying all throughout overnight and all of those things? What was the use? What was the import? This is amazing. Really, really amazing. And after all that agreement, before getting to Canada, they sealed that agreement and then that Cameroon pulls out. Like, seriously?
Measures in Canada. Those confidence building measures included, just listen to this, they included.
Listen carefully to what he says for the confidence building measures. He wasn't in Canada. he has not seen that document. Let me say this. There is an article written, published by Cameroon Web. Cameroon Web actually lifted this article from Jeune Afrique. And Jeune Afrique is reporting on exactly what happened in Canada. When I read it, I was like, oh my goodness, they really have a lot of information. Jeune Afrique, in that article, asserts that when they came out of Canada, there were 2 documents signed. That article is circulating on social media. I shall place the link to that article on on the message column or the comment column of this video, so that if you haven't read it, you will go and read it. You will get succinct information in that article. And what is happening right now, according to Jeune Afrique, the international community is very, very agreeably surprised at the attitude, at the conduct of Amazonia. Because this far, La République du Cameroon thought that by doing what they did, we would be provoked to come out there with our copies of the documents signed in Canada and circulate them. Because we have not circulated, because we have decided to hold ourselves together, remain focused, and allow the international community to do what they are supposed to do, La République du Cameroon is totally confused, very embarrassed, because we are scoring serious points on the international scene. That is why they will lift their agents within to provoke us, push, get into our thin skins, poke their fingers into our eyes, say all kinds of things to provoke us to say, we want to prove a point. See, this is what happened. That is the job of people like Ambe. That is the import of it all. That's why he will say even things that he knows are totally unfounded. Just listen to the so-called confidence building measures that he's talking about.
Bring all the generals, all the Amba generals to Bamenda. Bring all the Amba generals to Bamenda. What do you think will happen to them if they came to Bamenda? Tell me what will happen if La République.
My people, how does bringing all Amba generals to Bamenda represent a confidence building measure? Please take your phones. I know a good lot of us have Android phones. Go to Google, type there confidence building measures in conflict resolution. Look at all of them to see. Look at everything you find there. Do thorough research. You see if you will find it anywhere in the world that during conflicting situations they said one of the confidence building measures should be that one side should gather all their generals to meet in some place. Like seriously? Like seriously, Ambe? Like seriously? If even with doubt, get engaged in anything with our people to Cameroon, we constantly give directive to all our brave hearts to make sure there are not too many of them in the same place, to make sure they guard the way they move and all of those things. It is when you say confidence building measure, gather all of them. Why didn't you just say that one of the confidence building measures was that we should surrender? That's what you should have said, Ambe. And I'm shocked that some reasonable people are considered to be reasonable, are busy sharing it and saying, oh no, there's some important things that he has said. No, he really has a point somewhere. A point. Nonsense. Listen.
So, see all these people together under their control. Because when you're in Bamenda, you're under their control. They want to kill all of them, or they arrest them and go to Kundegi, and that will be the end of, and they believe that will be the end of the struggle. So that's one of the.
So you see, this is actually the work of manipulators. By saying this, he intends to do 3 things. 1, create doubts in the minds of the people regarding the leadership of our movement. Doubt, serious doubt. 2, set panic, fear, and confusion in the minds of our people. And then number 3, set our people up against those who are fighting to liberate them. Because they are about to gather all the generals in one place for a meeting with the Republic du Cameroon. Like seriously. So that the Republic du Cameroon should cut all of them and go. This is not only outrageous, it's even unthinkable. But he says it. He knows his line. He knows what he's saying is inaccurate. And I'm convinced tomorrow he will say that another adult manipulated him. It's such a shame. Even a child from, let's say, grade 4 or 5 will not reason in this manner that you can call that a confidence building measure. Here the more outrageous things he even says.
Confidence building measures that Shoyaba agreed that should happen. Shoyaba, Akwanka, Jomba Akuro, all those people who the Republic selected to go to Canada, they agreed on that. Another thing they agreed was that...
Now look at this. This is an absolute inaccuracy, and this is where I say he knows his line. First, all Amazonians saw the press release issued by the Southern Cameroon's groups, movements, and organizations that represented Amazonia in Canada. You're all aware that the consortium was not a signatory to that press release. So therefore, you are definitely aware that, as he says, that Republic du Cameroon selected the consortium, and by implication myself, was not one of those picked by the Republic du Cameroon to go to Canada. And worse, I have never been to Canada. I'm not saying that I have not been there, I did not go to Canada for this meeting. I have never been to Canada. I've never traveled to that country called Canada. Yet, Ambe swears I was sponsored by the Republic du Cameroon to go to Canada to push this agreement. What else do you need to know? What more information do you need to get to see that this is a major enemy to our liberation movement? What else? Because if somebody knows clearly I am lying, and this lie will cause doubt, it will cause distrust, it will cause confusion, it will set us one against the other, and he says it. Is he interested in our freedom? Let's listen to him again.
All the refugees will return. So when you bring all the generals to Bamenda, you return all the refugees. The struggle is ended, right?
I don't even know where he came from, the idea of returning refugees. Really amazing. How do refugees factor in confidence building measures? Again, go and do research. Confidence building measures, just as I called, are measures that are taken by both sides to test and see the sincerity of each side regarding a peace process that is supposed to be underway. Therefore, if in confidence building measures, you start having definitive decisions, actions like gather all your generals and bring to me in one place. Tell the refugees to come back home when hostilities are still on. Come on, are you still talking about confidence building measures, or you are talking of resolutions? The whole import of all this is because Ambe wants us to come out and say, no, look at, these are the confidence building measures that we agreed to. These are the documents we signed with the Republic du Cameroon. So we come tell you, we will not do that. Sorry. Amazonia has come of age. We made mistakes in the past. And today, we are working carefully with those mistakes in mind, treading our paths correctly. That is why I told the other leaders and everyone, don't worry, leave Ambe for me. I will have an exchange with him here as I'm having now. So that we all see, so that we will grow to understand that not everyone, like Jesus Christ said, who comes in my name is for me. Not everyone who shouts Amazonia in the morning, Amazonia in the afternoon, Amazonia in the evening is for this liberation movement. Otherwise, somebody can't tell this kind of blatant, horrible lies. I'm sure everyone saw. Because he's talking of this same Joe Ayaba that took to Twitter to remind the Canadian foreign minister that the way you refer to us in your press release is not the way we agreed to be referred to. And next day, we saw the permanent representative of Canada to the United Nations come out with a tweet and then referring to us as we wished and accepted to be referred to as the former UN territory or the former UN trust territory of British Southern Cameroons. Same thing with the Canadian ambassador or high commissioner in Yaounde. Same thing with the British high commissioner. My people of Amazonia, I said earlier that all this is meant simply to make us do the wrong thing, to bail the Republic of Cameroon out of the hole in which it finds itself. Hear him again.
Because they try to accomplish what they call normalcy. What is that normalcy? A colonial status, where even the U.S. says that they're not treating us fairly, and they said it's 1968, and that if they don't fix it, we will be where we are today, and we are where the U.S. predicted that we will be. And don't forget what Ambassador Peter Ballorin said in Yaounde.
The government has committed summary execution.
Now, he goes back to certain historical things, like I said, the Coca land, because he's struggling to look for facts and not seeing them. Something he can use to smear people. Of course, he has picked his targets. Comrade Cho Ayaba, Comrade Ba Akuro, Comrade Beneza Kwanga, Comrade Yerima, and of course the CDN. So he now has to struggle. Is there something I can use to buttress these conspiracy theories that I'm spewing out there? And he gets nothing. Then he keeps moving from one thing to the other. Let's listen to what he says.
Detaining people and not allowing them access to lawyers, to their families, even to visits from the Red Cross. They have been guilty of burning villages and looting and general harassment of the population.
I'm sure you're asking, what does la République do in return as their own confidence building measure?
Let's hear.
What they offered was they would return their troops to the barracks, to the multiple other barracks that they have built in Amazonia since the start of.
So according to Ambe, there were just two confidence building measures, one on either side. Amazonia will surrender, because that's what it meant. Amazonia will surrender, gather all our generals, everybody in one place for one meeting in the middle of La République du Cameroon, and hand them over. And then in return, La République du Cameroon will return its military into its barracks. Why do they need to return their military in the barracks or handed them all the generals? Is there any use? Doesn't this defeat logic? Oh my goodness.
War on Amazonians. And these multiple barracks also meant that they brought in more of their poorly trained, child molesting, killing soldiers to our land.
Go on, Abe. We are listening to you.
That does not really mean that their troops will still remain in our land, because if they had offered that we will pull our troops back to our own country across the Mongo and matter them, we'll say, yeah, you know, that's something. But when we say their troops.
Did you hear Ambe here? If La République du Cameroon said they will pull their troops out of our land, across the Mongo and after Matazam, and stay out there, that would have been something. That's also surrender, right? So if La République du Cameroon will give us a confidence building measure that will pull all their troops out of Amazonia to go after Matazam and the others across the River Mongo, pull out all their troops, why are we still going to go to the negotiation table? To negotiate what? You don't have surrendered. So you see, either way, it is really amazing that somebody should have this kind of thought.
We don't just mean they are big. They are police, they are gendarmes, they are warders, they are district officers. All of those are military people. They're all military. The place is ruled by the gun. There's no dialogue.
So
they don't even have courts where you can go and
I will favor and be a bit while we get to the certain things I want us to talk about.
Everything is controlled by Paul Biya.
So Ambe here
And with the French
is struggling throughout. This is about 38 minutes or about 18 minutes or even out of 38, struggling to convince you and me
and if he doesn't
that Comrade Cho Ayaba
do his job,
was
he's gone.
not targeted in this mail because of an act committed on the ground, but that this mail, this letter was
It was
written
decided
as a cover-up.
in 1944 in Libreville.
It was issued as a cover-up to give the impression to Amazonians that
Will be imposed in this
Cho
country.
Ayaba
They refuse
is still fighting for our freedom.
You know, this is the thing about the
So,
decided at the Atlantic.
I see there's someone who's asked a question here about the CBN, and it is absolutely interesting that I'll say one quick thing to it.
I think it was self-government.
You say, according to the CBN survey, an overwhelming majority of Amazonians want absolute independence. Surprisingly, the same CBN concluded the survey by recommending a peaceful settlement of the war. But wait a minute. How do they settle war? With war? If they recommend that, go to the negotiation table. I don't see what is wrong with that. They didn't gamble with the results of the survey. They conducted that survey free and fair and released to us the results. We showed that over 80% of respondents have said we want absolute independence. What else then do you want from the same CBN? That is, this CBN should now come to conclusion and say, as a result of this, therefore, we are asking the Republic of Cameroon to carry their bags and get out of Amazonia. That's not their role. They've conducted this survey. Good empirical evidence for you and I to show to the international community, to add on to what the late Christian Katinatumi had already done, to tell the international community, look at this. Like Republic of Cameroon keeps saying there's just a handful of people who are trying to bring confusion in our land, but these are results of carefully conducted surveys that show you the contrary quite massively. So many Simpsons, I was actually saying this to you, responding to you, so that you understand exactly what I'm talking about here. And so that you know that we ascribe to people roles that they're not supposed to play. And then we start judging them because they have not played those roles that we are the ones that are ascribing to them. That is folly. So let's take a few more minutes with Ambe and then we get out of this.
The French said they will impose these leaders, and these leaders will earn their spurs by the people going to them for their needs, because that will be the only authority that will be in the place. And through that, they will earn their spurs and become the legitimate leaders who they then control.
Okay.
But with all of this, the only independence African colonies will have will be the independence of France. Not my words. Just go read the histories there written. We've talked about the cooperation agreements on this channel.
Like I said, he's doing a lot of coca land. I wanted him to actually land where he's really driving us to. And for you, Mr. Fobasi, ask what is the rationale behind holding sacred what happened in Canada? Listen, if you know the way things happen on the international scene, you will understand why some actors behave the way they do. There is no such thing here as secrecy. The Canadian Minister of Foreign Affairs made clear when she took questions from journalists that the Republic of Cameroon or La République du Cameroon sent delegations 3 times to Canada, and that at the end of it all, both parties signed 2 documents. One which was a commitment, and the other which gave Canada the mandate. What else do you want? Now I know the issue that we have is people want to see the content of those documents. But agreements are agreements. Both parties had agreed that Canada will be the party to publish those documents. So those documents are meant to be public. The only thing right now is the timing. Canada and its other international partners know why they feel, and we generally get the form, they feel that the time for the publication of these documents be pushed ahead. When it is time, these documents will be released. There's no secret about it. The documents are meant to be published, and they're involved in the communications protocol. So whatever is going on right now behind the scenes is not the role of Mbakuro to come talking to you about it. None of us is mandated to talk about it. I'm talking about these things I'm talking here, not as one of those who were involved with the exploratory talks in Canada. I'm talking here as a media man who has the possibility to read public documents that are already public and talk to those public documents. That's what I'm doing. So, and Mr. Foba, I refer you to that article published in Jeune Afrique. I'm sure you get a lot of information in there that will make you understand that a lot of what Ambe is saying here is gibberish. Absolute gibberish. Simply good for the trash can. Let's get him once more.
Go look for that tape, watch it. We made it easy, we're ready for you. So all these killing machines, all these hungry, poorly paid troops that they have brought in the form of in the form of police, in the form of gendarmes, in the form of prison guards, custom officers. They're all in our territory, and if the only way La République can say yes, we'll be secured, is to pull all this across the Congo, then we know that there's a confidence building situation there, and then we can start the dialogue. Is that what they offer? No. They will keep the troops in the barracks they have built, and who they...
Well, I don't want to take a lot of our time on this Ambe tape. The nitty-gritty of it is that Ambe asks, he says somewhere, that if the government of Cameroon wanted to be serious, I guess we are almost getting there. Perhaps we should hear him say it. That if the government of Cameroon were serious, that they were really after Comrade Ayaba, they will not address the letter to the various permanent missions at the United Nations. They will address it to Norway as a country. I just want to see if we get to that now. If it's taking time, then I'll tell you what I want to say.
Can bring out at the snap of a finger. That's what Choayaba, Akwanga, Jomba Akuro, what's the other gentleman's name? Yerima. That's why they all agreed. All organized and coached and well prepared by CDN. That's what happened in Canada.
So, this is somebody who wasn't in Canada. He hasn't an idea. He has no idea that CDN was not involved in Canada. He has no idea that CDN was not involved in Canada. He has no idea that Mbako was not one of those invited by Canada, and therefore couldn't have been in touch with the Republic du Cameroon to be getting the information that he's saying and manipulating it. He's unaware of all of this. Absolute ignorance. And you come to exhibit it in the public place to say some of these kind of things that he's saying. It's just embarrassing. I know you may have your bone to crack with the CDN, but CDN was not a party to the pre-talks taking place in Canada. I've said here before that CDN only came in to help mobilize the Amazonian groups invited, so that people should work together, not go there as separate entities, as Engulf, APLM, IG, ACT, with everybody standing on their own side. No. CDN came in to help the Amazonian group to understand that although you were invited individually, put up a united front. And that is how it became easier for this team to choose a lead, whose lead coordinated the entire team, that people, delegates from the various groups, and they operated in a very interesting fashion that shocked both the Republic of Cameroon and the other parties present, that is Canada and the UN observer mission that was present. Because they have been told several times that we are so divided, we will be fighting against each other, they won't even know who to talk to. Today, thanks to the CDN, we're able to overcome that challenge. Yet, all you do is vilify that CDN. Because that CDN needs to be brought down. Why is it doing these wonderful things? Why is it about to help these people to get this freedom? So, Mr. Foba, you asked another question. Were the international partners of Canada present in Canada? If not, why? But like I just said a while ago, that, and you saw that also from Minister Melanie Joly, the Canadian Foreign Minister, that there was a representative of the United Nations present at those exploratory talks in Canada. So I guess that answers your question. So what I want to say here, my people of Amazon, always let us settle down to recognize the progress that we are making. Because generally we make ourselves to believe that we are on the spot, we are not doing anything, we are not getting anywhere. We are making progress. But the greatest progress we will make will result from us understanding that the time now is not for this useless kind of games. The time now is not for this power play. The time now is for us to mobilize all our resources and let the Republic of Cameroon know that it will never be business as usual, that they will never inherit our territory. We have seen at this point now, first was the Swiss experience, second, the Canadian experience, that La République du Cameroon will never get to the negotiation table walking by themselves. La République du Cameroon will only be dragged to the negotiation table. What we need to focus on discussing now is how do we get La République du Cameroon dragged to the negotiation table. I was talking in the forum, in an education forum yesterday, regarding the significance of February 11. And I made this point clear. February 11, April 21, the independence vote on April 21, that was expected to empower the southern Cameroonians to become a country, a state, so they can enter into a union treaty with the Republic du Cameroon. That all these things, when you look at this trend of events in 1961, you recognize why the Republic du Cameroon that voted against the independence of southern Cameroons on April 21, 1961, that people would never accept to come to a negotiation table voluntarily. Never. Because the Republic of Cameroon knows they have no legal claim to our territory. It does not exist anywhere. They have zero. And so coming to the negotiation table, the Republic of Cameroon knows we are going to sit there and to lose. We are going to sit there to see Amazonia off. So right now, the game that has been played with the international community, giving the impression that they had no one to talk to on our side, that one is dead. The next game they were giving the impression that we were the ones who did not want dialogue, that one is dead. And therefore, right now, the only thing we need to do is pull our forces together. Pull our forces together. Spend our time mobilizing our people to see the need to come together and work together, because we need to give La République du Cameroon nose bleeding on our territory. Oh yes, I said that in that forum yesterday. And trust me, in the weeks ahead, you will find us out there visiting you, maybe right at your homes, to tell you it is time to fund this struggle differently, because we have to do things differently in 2023 to get La République du Cameroon to a negotiation table. La République du Cameroon will never walk to the negotiation table. Freedom is not free. No tyrant has ever handed power back to the people just like that. We saw even with the situation of the Israelis in Egypt. Then when Pharaoh had it to his door and said, go. When the children of Israel went onto the Gulf and were causing Pharaoh to set his chariots behind them, capture them and bring them back. La République du Cameroon will never come to the table voluntarily. And the way to force them to the negotiation table is not by spewing this kind of nonsense. It's not by spending time doing manipulation, casting aspersions, calling names, building unnecessary suspicion. We can't get there like that. We can't get there like that. So, let's get the last thing he says.
Many people, many Amazonians who have earned their money, earned their power by riding on the backs of Amazonians. By riding on the backs of Amazonians. They offer themselves to be used by La République to placard.
Let me check things to say.
Our participation in their system. No, there's only one man who controls that system, it's Paul Biya, and the rest are answerable to him. And when it comes to
like I said, one of the arguments brought up by Ambe was that La République du Cameroon is, did the wrong thing, because by sending this stuff only to the multilateral bodies at the United Nations, where there is no action, it's a justification that was a cover-up. But you know, Ambe comes to the fact that we see things pass before us and we forget them quickly. And so he was convinced that it will be easy for him to manipulate the minds of the people, because people will forget that the government of La République du Cameroon gave money to the publishers of about all the newspapers in that country at one point. And one Monday morning, all the newspaper headlines were attacking the Prime Minister of Norway, attacking the government of Norway directly on the subject matter of Comrade Joe Ayaba. Take a look at this. This paper did not come out yesterday. It did not come out 2 days ago. This is just one of them. And like I said, there were many. This is one of them. When you see coalition suspect, Norvège Amazonian Defense Forces. Comrade Ambe, let me just call you comrade. Does this say a thing to you? Does this mean anything to you? And this is way back, over a year and a half ago. That wasn't all. Take a look at this one too. Erna Solberg, why have you given Norwegian nationality to a killer, terrorist and a rapist, burner of our schools and hospitals? This is to the attention of Ambe. When he says that the government of La République du Cameroon should not have targeted, but the permanent representations at the United Nations, they should have targeted the government of Norway itself for it to have credibility. Did you take a look at this? Ambe Augustine, I'm not a fan of Joe Ayaba, I'm not. But listen, I don't accept this kind of misinformation, because it doesn't help our movement, because it doesn't take us forward, because it doesn't allow us the possibility to pool our resources together, because it continues to help La République du Cameroon to divide us consistently so they can rule us easily, so they can keep us in bondage, so they can keep us in slavery and servitude. This is what the kinds of actions that he just put up, that's what it does. That's the reason I decided to do this. That's the reason I decided that we take a look at this. So that, we grow to understand that not everyone that says I'm an Amazonian is an Amazonian. Let's take a quick laugh and then we conclude.
De leur père, chers enfants, laissez, je vous en prie, laissez d'introduire le voleur dans les possessions des parents. Parce que sinon, demain, vous irez
You can see that the mummy here. This mummy here had completely forgotten what he wanted to say. Those are the kind of people calling the shots in the Republic of Cameroon. These are the kind of things that will not happen in a free Amazonia. In a free Amazonia, we have to set the rules clear and straight, loud and clear. You're tired, you go. You no longer have energy, you give way. Yes, you no longer have energy, you give way. So people like Ambe, to whoever you have repeated this kind of statements that Bruno Bijan repeated, go and tell those people that we are not in the Republic of Cameroon, that they fail. Listen to Bruno Bijan again.
Si mon boss me demande maintenant de courir et d'entrer dans un trou, je vous assure que je le ferai sans hésiter.
Bruno Bijan, mon heure a sonné.
Yes, as Bruno Bijan, that in fact the people who are commandeering me, who are paying me, that's my boss. If he says run straight and jump into a hole, I will do that without even asking questions, without hesitating. My brother, if you are in that category, trust me, Amazonia is the wrong place to ply your trade. Yeah. So I would really have loved us to continue with one other very important issue, but I usually do not like to get much longer than this. And so therefore, my people of Amazonia, I want to thank all of you who found time to be on this broadcast. And again, I want to thank especially all of those who have contributed one way or the other to our sister who cried for help. To this sister who cried for help. All of those who have contributed in one way or the other already, that you rock. You are the true soul of Amazonia, the true representation of Amazonia. Let us continue to help one another. Let us continue to portray our humanity. This is the first time you are doing it. You have done it before. And I want to thank each and every one of us who has contributed and those who are still contributing, those who are still looking forward to getting resources to contribute. Let us continue to help those among us who are vulnerable, who are in deadly situations, because this is who we are. A very gentle and nice set of people. Let us not allow manipulations, confusion, divide and rule to redefine us negatively. To God be the glory.